Good evening and welcome to Smart Entrepreneurship Decoded on Transcontinental Times. Last week, we had an interesting encounter with the ambassador to Sao Tome and Principe, who brought a unique perspective on the role of culture in entrepreneurship and work in general, and how you can apply a growth mindset to almost any situation, even as a diplomat. The stories that we see in the mainstream media of entrepreneurs being celebrated are largely, not all, but largely stories of people from the major cities of India. They are also largely glorifying stories of tech or of somebody who's the highly qualified or somebody who came back from overseas or something of that kind. There is a stereotype of a successful entrepreneur. In this show, I have attempted to bring a flavor of various sides of entrepreneurship, and I have tried to bring out stories that need to be told of successful people from other parts of the country. India and the entrepreneurial ecosystem is not about the major cities. For those of us who have traveled to the smaller cities of India, not even tier 2, tier 3, go to tier 4, you will be absolutely astonished at the depth, thinking, and maturity of the entrepreneurial spirit of Indians. Tonight, I bring you a story from a small town called Bidar. For those of you who study history, you know the historical importance of the city. It is the absolute crown jewel of Karnataka. It is surrounded by Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, on both its sides, and sits on the tip of Karnataka right to the top. Recently, it had an airport opened. But more importantly, 2.5 years ago, an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, called me to be there. I went there quite apprehensive. I didn't know what to expect. I had never been to be there, even as a tourist. And I was very pleasantly surprised to see in that small town, but a beautiful town, he had created an almost monopolistic situation in the real estate space. I have been trying to help him raise funding for an enterprise that is huge, quite huge, very profitable in the real estate space. And our journey on that front continues, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But this entrepreneur's life itself and journey itself is very interesting, and it is a story that needs to be told. So tonight, I present to you my guest, Mr. Sanjay Hatti, the Managing Director of Nisarga Homes. Good evening, Mr. Sanjay. How are you?
Yeah, sir. Good evening. Thank you, sir. Fine.
Thank you. Thank you. You opened my eyes when I came to be there 2.5 years ago, just for a day. But I was pleasantly surprised at what you've achieved, and even more surprised at your own journey. So my first question is going to be about the journey itself. Now, you are not from a family of entrepreneurs. How did you get into that? Did you work somewhere before, or did you jump straight into entrepreneurship?
Definitely. So thanks for inviting me for this program, wonderful program. Definitely, I started my career in 1999. There I went to work, joined Garda Chemicals. So Garda Chemicals is the chemical which produce for pesticide, herbicide, something like that. There I come to know what is company, how they strategically plan, how they do funding, everything I learned there. After coming back from the one holiday for home, so my father told me, you lost so much of it, you lost so much of money, why don't you start a business? So that is how in 1999 I started a business started with the finance, then this farmer company, and got married with a doctor. My wife is a gynecologist. That's what I started a hospital. So then after that I started India, South India's biggest machine, the plant, the dal mill I started, pulse production mill. And along with that I started this big warehouse, 60,000 square feet big warehouse. It's a totally whatever business I entered and started done a very big. Always I used to do big things. I never used to do small things. Which we used to work wonders in the tier 2 cities, especially. Absolutely very less competition for big things in all tier 2, tier 3 cities. So it went
So
to up to yeah. So it went up to
so
even I bought a huge land for start a steel plant. So at that time, the unable to take the start that steel plant, I converted that land into real estate. Into real estate from last 7 years. Total my 18 years journey. Out of the sixth year, the seventh year is running in real estate. Yeah, real estate. This
interesting.
company. Yeah,
So
this.
you must
Yeah.
be observing all the big city players, right?
Yes.
And here you are in this town, you have created something equally big, etc.
Yes, sir.
How difficult is it for people from smaller towns to actually attract investment and attention of people?
Like we, it's a very difficult to attract investor from metro and big cities. It is very easy to attract a local investor. First of all, friends, relatives, and the like they can become your part-time interest, like part-time partners, concerned with their ability, concerned with their subject, concerned with their any of their, they will become partner. So with that they supported and started working. That's how it has become so big. Nisarga started in 2014, 14 and that too in December. Like it is a 6th year old baby. Started with only 4 people and only 10 acre. Today we have crossed more than 250 cr net worth plus 100 staff strength. It is
So,
all our local available resources, not anything outside.
so coming from a non-business background and entering a difficult business like real estate, because
Yes,
it is a business that has got a lot of things that people don't understand.
yes.
How difficult was it in the beginning to get into the real estate field?
Yeah, but definitely there is no organized player in tier 2, tier 3 cities. In these cities, people come together, take a small land, and end up with the fighting. So we have started business with the 67 acre and fully organized. We brought metro like staff from the metro. The people used to work like for 1 lakh at metro. I brought those people in Bidar, and they started working for me. They started the people who is having rich experience in real estate. They started giving wonderful guidance, the local fundraising activities. So many things we have done. That is how it has become easy. We have it, we are running it as a complete monopoly business. We don't have any competitor at all. Like every year, per district we sell minimum 500 units, like that. Every year we do 500 registration, like that. We have separate department. We have created standard SOPs. People look at us as it's a small tier 2 city per person ही क्या करेगा. Like we are running it is on par with the metro people. That is
I
how we
agree. I
are.
have seen it for myself that
Yes.
your projects are all integrated townships. The quality was excellent. I was surprised that you had ERP systems running right through your organization.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk a bit about the talent, because you also run an international school, you run a hospital as part of
Yeah. Huh.
these integrated
Definitely.
townships.
The
Is it
Yes.
difficult getting talent, or has COVID made talent more easily available in smaller
Yeah,
towns?
very true, sir. It's very true. COVID made easy, and COVID made us to sell more products than non-COVID time. In fact, COVID we made a very major business. People started reverse migration from metro to their town. So at least they plot to purchase kar lenge bhai. A concept, and we sold all our major inventors in COVID. In fact, and not only that, there because of our good salary, people from metro they are started moving to this place. In school, our principal, he is from Aurangabad. Our general manager, he is from Kolkata. Our CFO, he is from some like Vizag. So they are all spent their major time in metro places, and now they are staying with me in Bidar and doing working for the company. Company is giving all facility, that is school facility, this lavish residence facility, car facility, like that. So bringing talent has become easy because of this, because talents are making money now. Yeah. Thank you.
So, we are seeing that trend even in the stock market, right? Where the share prices of all the real estate companies are seeing a huge rebound, whether it
Yes,
is
sir.
Godrej Properties, DLF, Birla
Yes,
Estates, any of them. It's just going through the roof. Uh,
yes,
what what are the markets that are in your vicinity doing well? I know you work a lot in Hyderabad as well. So in the
yes,
real
sir.
estate market, talk to us a little about how the Bidar market has developed, and then talk to us a little about how Hyderabad is, because we hear a lot of noise about Hyderabad. How
Yeah,
good is
yeah.
that market? What is really happening?
Sure, sir. I'll talk a little bit about my company. My company is it's a comprehensive township development company in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities with 40% greenery. In township, we acquire land 40-50 acre land. In that 10% land, we come up with our like villas, affordable houses, apartment like that. In 10% land, we keep it reserved for the school, hospital, and resorts. And in we balance 80% land, we make it a open residential plot as well as commercial plot, and we dispose it of very fast. Right, compared to my neighbor price, my price is 50% of neighbor price. So that is what nobody cannot compete. So my I calculate the profit with fixed profit. Land cost itna hoga, ye upar ka kharcha de, this is all together is my cost is this. And compare my cost with neighbor cost, he's almost 50%. That's what we sell more. The same concept, like in Hyderabad, why it is speaking so well? Yeah, Hyderabad, like Andhra, Telangana divided two. After dividing, Andhra doesn't have much infrastructure. They are Andhra districts are very cash rich districts. They are making good money for spending. They don't have any place. They are coming and investing in Hyderabad. For simple restaurant also they come to Hyderabad. So that is whatever the material people are preparing. There is zero stock in the Hyderabad. If you go to Bangalore, you will find more than 2.5 lakh apartments are pending, unsold apartments are pending. If you
True.
go to Bombay, it is all in all the places it is like except this Hyderabad. And now, like recently, even Godrej, Shobha developers, many people entered Hyderabad. Hyderabad is booming. It's extraordinary, excellent. It's performing, no doubt. And
So
since it is compared to Hyderabad, it is not so modernized. It is still under progress.
true,
We
true.
have Bangalore grown vertical, and Hyderabad are growing horizontal. That's one advantage. Uh,
Bangalore always lived on the hype for the last 20
yeah,
years, and the
yes,
real
yes,
action was always happening in cities like Chennai, Hyderabad, and all that. So
yeah, yeah, yes, yes,
that's good, and it's good to see that these cities are really catching up and exceeding uh,
yes, yes,
the Bangalore, which gets disproportionate amount of media coverage.
yes, yes,
Let's talk about your own journey for a little bit. You have
yes,
been an entrepreneur. You have succeeded at what I would consider a fairly young age, coming from a family of non-entrepreneurs where your father encouraged you to do entrepreneurship, which is very interesting. When you see all these young people nowadays running around and trying to become successful entrepreneurs, what are the things that you think or qualities that you think that they need to have to succeed today? Because
uh,
you have gone through ups and downs, because you have shared your
yeah,
journey with me, so I know that you had your
yes, sir.
downs as well.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, sir. Yes.
what is the things that people need to remember to become successful entrepreneurs?
Yeah, that's what, sir. One should have a definitely, no doubt, a big dream. Apart from that dream, the 1,000 kilometers of journey start with a single step. They have to take one or the other way. Taking initiative is very important part in the business. Like if you go to job, started working that morning 9 to evening 9, working for 8 to 10 hour or 12 hour, once he fall under that comfortable, he will never become a entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is having he will be having all the day rest, he need to work 24 hours also. My personal suggestion to young entrepreneurs is to take initiative. Do not plan for 100%. Think of 100%, plan for only next 10%. That will become easy achievable, and you can definitely take it up, and it will definitely complete. That's the one secret what
Do
I
you
wanted to share.
do you sometimes wonder when you see some of these young tech entrepreneurs talk of these fancy valuations
Yes,
without as much of a track record as you, do you sometimes wonder that, maybe you should have started in a big city or something?
Yeah. Even I felt many times, but now, like so that's what we are maintaining now. Our head office at Hyderabad for convenience. That's for compliance, everything. Definitely, talents are lying there in metro. That helps to bring new talent in this.
So,
Definitely, it helps.
yeah, definitely. So, in this journey that you've gone through over the last 10, 15 years, what are the few uh, character traits of your own that have helped you, other people can, learn from?
Definitely, sir. Patience, one. Second, always I used to make a backup plan. When I start one business, when I take a liability, my father used to tell, तू लोन लेता है तो उसका बैकअप क्रिएट करके लोन ले. So whenever I used to take a loan from the bank, उसमें out of that loan, 10 or 15% I used to invest in a long run investment, like putting that 10 or 15% in the land. That used to give wonders. So 10% investment used to give 100% income. So that has helped me. That is one point. Second, definitely you try to work with your like known people initially. So they should give 100% to your institution, which will help you to like keep calm, and you can take still better decision. And don't be after credit, and go as much as possible with own money or friends money. If you don't have even making payment to for your salary payment, give them some stake, let them become a partner in your company. That is how we can start a business. These are all for a few tips we can from my
Interesting.
end. Yeah.
When I came, I saw the townships being built, etc. And obviously, you're sold in the past few years to hundreds of customers.
Yes, sir.
And real estate companies are known to, show good brochures and poor execution. How have you managed to, uh, you know, f- avoid that perception?
Yeah, very good question, sir. In this, like particular people used to fail only in this matter. Whatever we commit, we used to give, because we formed a totally five different department. Marketing is different, sales is different, again development is different, and after that the closing registration part is different, and HR department, and I made interlinked in that. The individual department head will fight with each other to complete that assignments. For example, at the time of booking, marketing fellow committed that ये दूंगा. It is his prime duty. He will fight with the developer, the development department to complete it so that early as possible, so that he will complete it. So like this, we do the morning evening briefing. That in that briefing, this will help us for completing the this whatever we committed to the customer as well as the society.
So,
Still, we don't have. We started company as earlier I told. We started with the company
yeah.
only 60 lakh, but with zero debt. We have not taken any debt so far, because we are maintaining customer. We have become very loyal to customer. So again, customer is bringing another customer. We are spending very less money on marketing nowadays.
So we spoke about the shareholders, we've spoken about customers, but there is a third part, which is your employees, right?
Yes,
And
sir, yeah.
while you can bring all the talent from outside, you have to also retain the talent, and you have to
Yes, sir.
also retain all the people as you're growing so fast.
Yes, sir.
How does an entrepreneur manage that? Because you have so much pressure of cash flow, you can't pay all those fancy salaries of big cities, etc. How do you manage that?
Definitely, as earlier I told that I made all different department. Every month, first one day morning till evening, one day whole day we'll have that meeting. Commitment of the month, commitment of the week, commitment of the day. So like that they have to commit and follow. For follow up, there is again second cadre. So these people will follow up them for that achieving that given target. In that we'll be having fixed receivable, fixed payable, fixed development, fixed again investments. We have a very clear set of team. They will like internally they will fight for their business. If they are constantly achieving that year end, he will get a wonderful increment, wonderful promotion. If he is constantly failing, he will not get. He will make it get demoted or change the department. Either he has to perform or give it to somebody else, the people who want to perform. There are people, they are in the queue. Oh, agar fail hoga to main lunga. Like that, people are there. So we created that very good chain. My HR department is quite strong in this. They take stringent action instantly.
It is
We have
so refreshing to speak to you because in
yes,
very simple, plain language, simple
yes,
home truths. If
yes,
people and young entrepreneurs who get to go after these big mentors and try to learn these big words, if they just listen to you, these are simple homegrown truths to set up a successful hundreds of crores business and
yes,
create a
yes,
monopoly situation
yes,
without a doubt. But tell me something. In real estate, we touched upon this a little bit earlier. Gaining customer trust is tough. So, for the
yes.
first few projects,
Hmm.
how did you manage that? In a city like Bidar, trying to sell integrated townships, trying to sell small plots of land, how did people trust you with their money?
So, definitely, sir. Initially, I started selling my plots at very affordable price. But people used to sell 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 8 lakh. I started 2 lakh 10,000 is the cost of my plot with all complaints, with all development. Sir, I sold thousand plot in 3 months. People used to buy my plots in queue. That was the first hit. We got wonderful gain. Like after that, we started selling 12.5 lakh 2 BHK house. लोग बोलते रहे यार तू छत तो डाल के देगा ना 12.5 lakh में. For this we
Hmm.
got almost 18 awards from different places from the all across country. Even the entrepreneurs magazine, Times of India, together they had made awarded. There are so many awards we got. So this is one place. Like after this, when we enter Gulbarga, it's a total new to us. People from, they took many reference from the neighbor, like they took a reference from the local Bidar and started buying there itself. And my price is quite affordable compared to any other in the city. So that is one very lucrative part of my business.
Yeah.
People
So,
take at least 4 or 5 years to sell their product. I take only 3 months to dispose all the property.
most of the time, I'm interviewing young entrepreneurs, etc., who are yet to become successful or achieve financial success, etc. You have achieved good success pretty fast, etc. In a small town that must be putting a lot of spotlight on you.
Yes, yes, sir.
How do you deal with that? Because there will be competition, there will be jealousy, there will be demands,
Of
etc.
course,
So as
sir.
an
It is,
entrepreneur, how do you deal with that? Because you want to spend your time growing the business, and all this is a
yeah,
distraction. So how
yeah.
does one deal with that?
Yes, sir. It is very high. Particular place like tier two, tier three is very high. Like even a politician, bureaucrats, gunda, local newspaper, everybody will be after people like me. So for this, we have started one ecosystem. In our ecosystem, we started one more business called Bharat News. So it is branded as the Daily News newspaper. So which will protect us from the all the social elements.
This
That
is
will definitely
interesting. To
protect.
manage perception, you have launched your own media
Yeah,
brand.
yes,
Not
sir.
bad at
That
all.
in a 30 district.
Which
So
brings me
we have,
to
yeah,
go ahead, go ahead. Please go
yeah.
ahead.
Altogether, we have totally six companies, so 5 companies. Nisarga Homes, then Neft Schools. It's an international school. Vijaya Hospital, then Nisarga Resorts, and this Bharat News. All are running parallelly. Still, any of us doesn't have any liability as on today. I want
So
to
when do
take
you
it.
launch this news company? When does
This,
it come out in print?
this month end, sir.
Okay.
Another 2 3 days. It is like that. It is in our last moment. Everything is finalized for this thing. We
So
have done all this hospital, resorts, and even school in Bidar very well. It's running very smoothly. Same thing we'll copy it in all the places, Gulbarga and wherever we.
I did visit your school when it was in the final stages of construction,
Yes,
and it was
yes,
an
sir.
absolutely fabulous
Mm,
facility.
yes.
So the one final question before I let you go, because I've taken more time than I asked you for.
Thank you, sir.
You are still young, and you have got a lot of way to go, and I'm sure you'll do fabulously well.
Yes.
But is what are the things that you do that you feel you can give back to society or for your local community, etc.? Other things that you do, or are you thinking in that direction?
Yes, sir, it is there. That's what I told initially. My company, we run with the any project we launch with a 40% greenery. First, we are providing greenery. Apart from that, we have separate fund for the all the social responsibility work. We do a lot of recently we have distributed a very good number of school bag to this all non-affordable school girls like that. We make a huge tree plantation drive. We make a milk the breast milk feeding drive, and we make a lot of social program like this. We have separate fund, separate team for that to exclude to do deal with all these things.
Mr. Sanjay, thank you very much for joining me tonight. You are refreshingly candid and really home truths. No fancy stuff, no fancy language, but this is
Yes,
how you build companies coming from a non entrepreneurship background. Profitable, large companies that have large shares of the market in an area where trust is low, but still you build it, expand, and grow. I
yes.
wish you the very best. I'm very sure in a few years' time you'll be a publicly listed company at the rate you're
Thank you,
growing. I will
thank you, thank
wish you the very best, and I wish the Nisarga family all the best for the future. Thank you.
you. Yes, yes, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you, and good
thank you.
night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good night.